Oh, we're back on the horse again.
Yeah, we're going to see Soapy in Dodge. Wait, Denton? You okay, Denton? I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's alright.
Alright, off to see Soapy. Wait. Something's not right here. So, once again, one of the few pieces of, like, story integration in the gameplay is that as long as Denton is tied up, there will be an infinitely respawning posse of enemies here in Dodge. And they just will not stop coming until you trigger the next story event.
Denton, that you? What happened?
Met with a mob of some of the more colorful citizens in town. What brings you back so soon, kid?
Looking for an acquaintance. The little gambler named Soapy Jennings. You know him?
If you hurry, you might catch him.
He's leaving?
You might say that. Luke Short and his boys are lynching him at the gallows. Didn't care much for the way he shuffled cards. Come on. We need to get to the top of that water tower. They have Soapy held up in a building and we can't
This
get
is the
to him.
start of where I think that they kind of get off track with Soapy's character. He becomes a lot less intelligent starting with this mission, to the point where I think that there were two different characters that they merged together. It seems like there may have been a separate safecracker character that they merged with Soapy, because he acts in a very different way here. There's also very little foreshadowing to Soapy actually being a safecracker. In fact, there's only one piece of foreshadowing, which happens in the prison. And I actually missed it. Anyway, so this is what scalping actually looks like when it's done properly here.
Oh, the hat comes right off.
Yeah, the animation does not work properly most of the time, so that was one of the few times where it actually worked effectively.
A feature in this game is buggy? No.
Come on now. You don't gotta get... Somebody help me, please! Oh.
I'm gonna be so happy if we have to shoot the rope.
Hey kid, take this sharpshooter. It's dead on.
So this is a very interesting naming choice. There is a gun. There is a trademarked gun named called Remington Creed Moore, not Creed Moore. And yes, you're right. We have to shoot the rope. Except the rifle, the sniper rifle, is a Winchester. It's not even a Remington Creed Moore sniper rifle. So it seems like they were. It's such a weird. Such a weird example of writing around a trademark. Like it's not even the right brand.
Copyright is a funny thing.
And yet, I don't know, is Ferguson a trademark? I really don't know much about gun trademarks. That was something I looked up just for, prior to the start of this video. Also, this particular section was a nightmare to subtitle because there is so much overlapping dialogue. Also, yeah, these guys are just lining up, taking their turn to beat the shit out of Soapy here.
It's a beautiful recreation of the slap scene from Airplane.
Riflemen coming from the north. They're below us. They're on the roof above Soapy.
This section can be quite difficult because of the way that the whole scene is directed. It doesn't do a very good job of telling you where enemies are, aside from like vague directions for Denton. And it can be very easy to lose track of enemies or to get shot from enemies that are on the ground, and it's just it can be not very fun in general.
Horses coming in from the east.
Also, none of Soapy's dialogue is subtitled in the main game.
From the rider.
I basically, like, good chunks of it are either inaudible, or I just subtitled here what I could.
Did they just give up?
I think their intention was only to subtitle stuff that was story related. But even then, they don't subtitle everything story related. I think they just half-assed it.
Yeah.
Stay behind and clean up the rest of this mess.
Hell of an exhibition, kid.
I can't wait to see what you're like during the regular season.
Goodbye, Dodge, you lousy lead-chucking bird.
Lousy
So long,
what?
Kansas, you
Lead
fat
chucking.
cake, and
I
good
don't
riddance.
know.
I never have the privilege of your hospitality
This is
again.
also, like, he's got like a whole monologue here, and none of it is subtitled.
A man
I
of my
think it's
obvious
lead chucking.
refinement
Also,
shall take his business
speaking
elsewhere.
And none of it makes sense either.
yeah. Speaking of character reunions, guess who's back? It's Nolan North to the rescue, baby. How we've missed you.
Get on, hurry up.
Up on the ridge! I see 'em. They're on the edge of the docks!
NolanNorth.exe has stopped working.
He's migrated his entire server over to TroyBaker.iso.
Here they come!
So now is probably a good time to show off that not even the sniper rifle is hit scanned. You can see the bullets traveling on both your guns as well as the enemy guns.
That is a fascinating choice, actually.
Yeah, like even with the sniper rifles.
Here, they'll be on us in no time. Get up
Yeah,
north,
so
North,
we started the mission shooting a rope and we ended it shooting a rope. See, it's all bookended.
Nice, eh?
This game is well written.
We just ruined everything that Nolan has to look forward to. Turning the crank to the right, turning it back to the left. I mean, we're terrible people.
Well, I mean, he does have, I guess, Uncharted 5 to look forward to.
Okay. It's good to have a hobby.
So this is the start of a series of point-of-no-return missions. Basically, as soon as you free Denton.
Empire was my foundation. It was nothing but a pisshole for Mexicans. Until I put hoodoo in place. Where's the kid now?
He was just in Dodge. Rumor is he rescued a safecracker and fled north.
He's going for the safe.
Surely those renegades will retrieve it.
Those traitors can't be trusted. You lost it. You go get it back. Now, go.
I'm on my way, sir.
Come on,
Also,
follow
throughout
me.
that entire
Kid,
section
I
there,
must say you're a sight for sore eyes.
you will notice that the cutscene is choreographed so that Reed's right ear is never fully in the shot,
Choking me up.
because they never actually made another model after Magruder cut off his ear
My stocking
at the near the beginning of the game.
Oops, we forgot.
Although there are a couple of brief sections where you can still see his right ear clearly
Black
visible, but
Bean
only for a
country.
few frames.
I hear they're not too fond
Well, at
of
least we
white
did end
men.
up picking up that gold from earlier.
You can go
It's
back
one of the
to
very
that
first
lynch
pieces
mob
of gold
if you
that we saw.
I believe this calls for an
We're gonna be rich by the end of this.
like. Shut up and ride.
Soap, you watch the path. Shout up if you see anyone. Damn. Can't get to the steamer wreck without showing ourselves to the fort. What's wrong with that? Don't want anyone to know we're here.
Too late.
two kinds of white men out here, soldiers and outlaws. And since I see no blue, you must be running from trouble or looking to stir some up. Till I figure which, you'll be my guest. Now let's have your guns.
That's a fine rifle. How'd you come by it?
Pried it from the cold, dead fingers of an Indian-loving fool.
Sergeant Hollister, son of a bitch who commanded the Steamboat Massacre.
Join the party. Take a squaw, even.
Sarge, he's here.
Let him in. But if I catch either of you trying to run, I'll slit you both wide open and make bowstrings of your guts. We're going down to the steamer. If anyone else approaches, take them out with the cannons.
Let's go. Gruder's impatient.
Holy shit, it's Reed. He must be after that safe, too. Come on, let's get out of this hill.
I can't get us out of this one, kid. We're gonna have to find some help.
Where?
Somewhere. So we're now in a point of no return mission. You try to end it, you can't. And we have no weapons again.
Those ugly bastards will skin us alive if we're caught. We gotta be careful. Wish we had some help.
So these guards over here are actually not going to bother us unless we directly interfere with them. Also, this is a big guy.
Hey, piss off, jerkwad.
He is a big guy.
If we try to grab him as a human shield, he will shake us off.
Ooh.
Also, I died, but Soapy died before us, so that was the game over condition.
Some of those braves might know a way out.
Alright, so let's do this properly now. Also, keep in mind, Soapy has a hitbox. It's actually important for later. So we're going to sneak up to this brave Indian here, who's apparently engaged in what looks like a tickle fight with that renegade soldier.
Kiki tapit ni tsopu ista pato topa anoma sao mitapi. I kakimot misokata tsimisa anis kisi iyini ko wanix ato akana onupa.
Now, he also has a hitbox. Remember that for later.
Okay. Oh dear. Too dear.
Alright, so there's two other native warriors that we're gonna save. Those guys up there are apparently too drunk to notice. It's just that animation is so pathetic. I love that animation he does. Also,
just because.
Yeah, the enemy AI is when it comes to stealth, it's entirely based on line of sight and very specific noises. And the screams that enemies make when you scalp them, not one of the loud noises that triggers an alert.
The horrified shriek doesn't trigger an alert.
Nope.
I'm in your debt.
That Indian was very tired. He was yawning.
Kisima nis topa. Kitama nas sini anoka. Kita stamut zo. Kita kenes.
So this next mission is kind of weirdly scripted. I feel like it was a little more ambitious than Neversoft was really able to handle. And because it's dealt with the pathing of certain NPCs, they got rid of their hitboxes entirely.
Wait, what?
Stay here and watch the door.
Yeah. So I think they just had they ended up making it so that all the scripting was tied directly to NPC positions. So they just got rid of all hit detection for the natives, so that they could script everything without breaking it.
Take out the guard at the door.
Ah, there he is.
Now, follow in my footsteps.
When you grab enemies in a human shield, they will always yell out as if they've been alerted to your presence. But it's apparently like a separate trigger to when they actually get alerted to you. Very strange. This does not. This is one of the few missions in the game that I would genuinely consider to be unfinished. Like there are.
It's sloppy.
Yeah, like there are other missions that are quirky. They've got a couple of issues, but yeah, this is probably there's a couple of side missions I would say are unfinished. This is the only story mission that I would genuinely say is not properly worked on.
And wait for us inside.
Yeah, like I said, in this case, entire line of sight. You can run around behind them, jump around like an idiot. They won't hear you, and you can melee them as well.
Wait.
You can scream like a little girl.
That was just Bob. He's gotten into that old screaming yoga phase. I hear it's really good for him. He's lost 15 years.
Gets out all his pent-up blood. Kill the peeing guard.
Here, I brought you a present. I brought you a pissing guard.
There. The passage for their garbage is our way out. Make certain it is safe.
There, go inside, Cole. You will fit right in.
Give me a sec to pick the lock.
Must have been a cat in heat.
Music to my ears. Now I believe a hasty departure is in order.
The natives will continue not to have hitboxes even as we go inside here.
Step lightly and follow me out. We have known of this cave since our people first came to this land.
You did, huh? Well, guys, did you know?
Kept it hidden from the white devils.
Did you see that there's gold just over here? You've known of this cave for thousands of years, and you never bothered to properly mine out the place. It was right outside the entrance. Come on.
I like how they took all your weapons but left you your pickaxe.
Well, it's obviously not a weapon.
Take up his bow and quiver.
Take a look at these guys.
Where'd you get them?
Got him off that guy they caught snooping around earlier.
Well, aren't you lucky? Now I gotta get back to my post.
This is also one of the few instances where enemies will actually notice when you take out one of their friends. Also, for some reason, they give you back your weapons here, even though this is still part of the stealth mission, and it will be game over when you get caught. Also, the game actually does compensate. For instance, if you get a headshot and then scalp an enemy, they will not scream. Not that it makes much of a difference, but it is a small detail that they included.
For everything they get right. They get about 10 things wrong.
Get a horse to break through the barricade.
Yes, it is a very much a scattershot approach to good game design. Every so often, we hit our target. Hear that, Jim? Probably doesn't matter. And yes, the game actually makes you wait for Soapy here.
Let's ride!
I agree, Soapy. Let's ride. Come on, horse. Let's get out of here. Let's go! Oh, wait, never mind. I drowned.
Whoops.
Alright, horse's hoof was dunked in a single milliliter of water, and that counted as drowning.
Oh, you busting some sick rail tricks at least. It's still a Neversoft game.
Our village lies ahead, down this road. Ride on. We will meet you there.
Well, we used our trample attack on the barricade earlier in that ranching mission, and now we will use it over here on this barricade. Basically, it's a loading screen. I really like this level. I think this particular map is really well suited to the type of combat that this area has. I wish that there were more like side missions that took place here. I also really like using the shotgun on horseback. It's basically like the Old West equivalent of using like a sawed-off shotgun on a motorcycle in the Terminator.
Makes you feel a little bit powerful, you know?
Yeah, this certainly, out of all of the different types of gunplay in this game, this certainly, it's the most visceral and the most satisfying out of all the different kinds. I'd say it certainly has better feedback than even the sniper rifle does. All right, ready for more bullshit?
Oh, I'm always ready for bullshit.
We just got another bow. A fire bow.
What's he saying now? He's telling a story of how I earned this necklace. It was a summer, a dozen years ago now. One morning I left camp to hunt on my own. I was skinning a small buck when a mountain lion attacked me from behind. Cat's claws peeled me like an apple before I managed to slit his throat. Ned found me, stitched me back together as best he could. For a week, I hovered near death until a Blackfoot shaman brought me out of it. Ned said I come out of it different. Said I moved and stalked like a cougar now.
So you owe the Blackfeet your life.
Anok omatapapatsiyup napikoan omotsuki.
There is a way to make you great again. Destroy the fort and the men inside.
Pishkani inamawasiyu.
Destroy them first. Then the fort will be vulnerable. I know how this can be done.
Get to the canoe.
I did not skip a cutscene. I did not edit anything out there. That was the actual transition from cutscene to gameplay as presented in the game. This part is really tough, by the way.
You're just in full Indian regalia.
Yeah, without explanation.
Attacking the camp now.
That part is actually really hard. Because of the cannons over there. There's either two or three cannons. Over there, and they will destroy you. You basically have to like sort of stay on the inside of the trench when you're going through there, and hope that you don't get sniped, either by one of the enemies with a rifle or by a lucky shot from one of the cannons. So we're basically just doing a full-on assault now on Hollister's Fort. So we're killing all of the alternate universe Nolan Norths now.
So I'm trying to figure out, did the fort just spring up overnight next to where the riverboat ran aground?
No, it was always there. It's actually
okay.
right next to where we started out with Honest Tom. It's just that the entrance to it was blocked off.
Okay. It's Schrodinger's fort. You don't know it's there until you open the gate.
Yeah, it works like the AI scripting on the Source engine in Half-Life 2. You know, where the helicopter can only see you, or it can't see you if you put a barrel in front of your face. Also, I would like to point out, first of all, I'd like to point out that Fights at Dawn referred to firewater when I was using dynamite. Great use of in-game dialogue there. Also, there are certain lines of dialogue where Fights at Dawn is referring to saying that I should reload, or reminding me to reload, or that I have to reload. But they only trigger when Cole is actually reloading. So I don't know whether that was just I don't know whether they got the lines mixed up, when they were like laying out the scripting, or whether it was a feature they had to cut and they just, decided to recycle the lines they had. But either way, it's very sloppy.
We gotta get this thing out the door. Fuck it, ship it.
We've been making only Tony Hawk since 1999. We gotta do something. Anything, please. Also, I should point out that I made a little oopsie in the back of the very first video when I talked about this being the first non-Tony Hawk game that Neversoft made. It was the first non-Tony Hawk game that Neversoft had made in a long time. Prior to this game, the last non-Tony Hawk game that they had worked on as a developer was a Spider-Man game for the PlayStation in 2000. Neversoft's first game, I think it was a Skeleton Warriors game for the PlayStation and Sega Saturn, and they also did an arcade shooter for the PlayStation called Apocalypse, starring an incredibly bored Bruce Willis. That is actually a surprisingly competent shooter, and it's also hilarious. There's one scene in that game where for some reason there's like there's a sewer level that goes that ends up into a shower room for some reason in the cutscene, and Bruce Willis's character ends up going from the manhole cover into the shower room, and there's a bunch of toweled girls running out and screaming when they realize there's a man in the women's shower, and Bruce Willis's character says completely seriously,
"Nice polygons."
You can't make this stuff up, folks.
From Tony Hawk to titty jokes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just own it.
Other way around. Titty jokes to Tony Hawk.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. These are the guys who chose Psycho Bitches for the original, for the soundtrack on the original Tony Hawk, so, And also, these are the same guys who, gave Hoodoo Brown some, pretty racist, pretty sexist lines in that opening scene he had with Jenny way back in the third video. It's been a while since he recorded it, since we recorded it, but he had the he had that line about making sure that Jenny wasn't hurt during the Indian ambush, that the customers would complain about spoiled fruit or whatever. So yeah, Neversoft, the true forgotten heroes of video game development. Not so great at the whole writing thing, though. Yeah, so we've been using these cannons to basically destroy Hollister's fort and kill Nolan North many, many times over.
My warriors have arrived.
See, the Blackfeet are actually basketball fans. They're separate from the Apaches are the ones that like football. Fights at Dawn really is into Golden State. So his warriors have arrived.
He is here. He's back there.
Also, you may have noticed there that there was a bit of a delay before I started firing. That's because when you're when you are in quick draw and you use your whiskey, you have to stop for a bit before you can start firing again.
You gotta steady your hand.
I like to think that for that line, they just recorded Nolan North and his reaction when he realized just how much more of the script he still had left to record. And he wasn't even one of the main characters. Wow, that native warrior was really close to the ammo dump when I blew it up. I'm amazed he's alive. At the very least, he'll be deaf for the rest of his life.
A bullet has found me!
So I don't think that we'll be seeing these larger enemies again. It's been a while since I've recorded the rest of this footage. Like I have long since finished all of the recording for this LP.
Say goodbye to Mongo, folks.
I think that these larger enemy types are exclusive to Hollister's men. Although it's possible Magruder may have some as well. I'll have to check my footage for the final level. Alright, so here we go. Final section. Where the last cannon is too far away, so we're just gonna have to blow it up with dynamite.
Protect the dynamite! Just try.
It's supposed to be difficult, but I found a spot where I can cheese it.
Beautiful.
Mission complete.
So did it just go mission complete and the guys just magically fell over?
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, you can only do so much with your big war set pieces, you know.
Neversoft, pioneers in narcolepsy awareness.
Neversoft, war set pieces. What are they good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, Lord.